It's Entertainment Spotlight with news and reviews of Hollywood feature film releases and celebrity and performance interviews. Hello, my name's Richard Leone, and today with me is my lovely wife, Corinne Leone. And today we're going to be talking about the story of the songwriting team that wrote so many great musical scores and songs for all those Walt Disney movies that we grew up with. Okay? Today we'll be talking about the boys, the Sherman Brothers story, as we said, a songwriting team. Corinne, I might add, I didn't tell our audience who may not have been with us before, Corinne is a veteran of major Hollywood feature films such as Towering Inferno and Westworld, and TV series such as Banachek and the FBI and Hawaii Five-0 and many, many others. All right, Corinne, our movie review today is about the story of the Walt Disney songwriting team, the Sherman Brothers. Now, tell us a little bit about this movie.
The Boys, the Sherman Brothers story, is a documentary movie about the Walt Disney Studios songwriting team that composed some of the best-loved music in movies.
All right, the Sherman Brothers, the Boys. Well, what do you say now? We take a look at the movie.
Let's.
Our songwriters, Dick and Bob Sherman of the Walt Disney Studio.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim cheree.
These are the people who wrote every song that every child has grown up with.
Win it up, poo, poo. Win it up, poo, poo.
Moments that touch your heart.
He's winning up.
I want to be like you.
I remember the songs more than I remember the movie
The
itself.
wonderful thing about figures is figures are wonderful things.
Modern media, television movies, and Disneyland, they just were in this extraordinary position to have a gigantic impact.
We were just reveling in our relationships with the studio and with Walt.
When we come up with a good song idea, there were no two happier guys in the world. And we knew it. We both look at each other. Yeah, we did it, yeah.
We had no sibling rivalry when it came to writing.
Everything in their career has pushed them into being two halves of a whole. They are, by fate and fame, shackled together.
You cannot forget a Sherman Brothers song for your entire life.
The biggest word you ever heard, this is how it goes. I blew it. You'll always sound precocious, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
The Sherman Brothers wrote a lot of great music for the Walt Disney's musical scores and movies and songs. And we want to mention that Ben Stiller was the executive producer of this film. This film was directed by Jeff and Gregory Sherman, the sons of Richard and Robert Sherman. And of course, it's distributed by Walt Disney Studios. Now, it had a limited release recently. It was only opened in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. But later on, by the time this show goes on the air, it'll be in a more major release, possibly even on DVD. Now, some of the other songs you might remember, a couple of the ones they won the Academy Awards for. What do you remember what they were?
Chim Chimmery.
Chim Chim Cheree.
And what's that one of superfragilistic?
Expialidocious was another cute little song that they wrote. And of course, the movie was Mary Poppins. And we saw Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews singing and dancing and really having a great time.
Right.
Now, some of the other musicals that they wrote for were Tigger, the story of Winnie the Pooh, The Jungle Book, The Lion King, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and of course we could go on and on. There's A Slipper in the Rose, which is a story of Cinderella. And incidentally, The Slipper in the Rose was premiered for the Queen of England in London, especially for her, I believe, at the Palladium Theatre. And as we go on with the story of the Sherman Brothers, we see that the music really is endearing. We saw Walt Disney, and that's the story there. All right, now we're going to introduce the next segment of this movie, which highlights what they did for non-movie music. In other words, music they wrote for the World's Fair and for their theme parks. and it's called Small World. Would you like to do it with me?
Yes.
Okay. It's a world of laughter, a world of tears. It's a world of hope and a world of fears. It's a sign that we care, that it's time we're aware. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all.
One song that'll cover everything. So we'll try.
It's a world of laughter, a world of tears. It's a world of hope.
People think it's a little novelty. It's a prayer for peace.
We share that it's time we're aware. It's a small world after.
We have to learn to live together and respect each other, or we're going to blow each other up.
I get so moved in the boat going through that and seeing all the children. There is something that is just so wonderfully moving, and the song always gets to me.
It's like this life-changing experience as a child when you go on it, because it's sort of kind of scary, but not.
You do spend about 5 minutes in there with that thing just cycling around endlessly in your ear.
Once it's in your head, it's just there forever, in a good way.
It's a lovely song. The first 4,000 or 5,000 times you hear it. And then it just like drills into your brain.
You wake up in the middle of the night and it's still going.
It's a small world after all.
No, anything but that.
Well, looks like the Lion King had that small world going around in his head too. Huh? What do you think he was thinking?
Well, I don't know what he was thinking, but we don't move in the same circles at all.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, you haven't written lately?
No. He doesn't write, he doesn't call.
Anyway, the small world does stay with you. And following that thought, Small World is probably the most translated song of any song in the world at the moment.
Is it really?
Because it plays in Europe, in Asia, and North and South America at all the theme parks continuously during the ride. So they say it's probably the most sung, the most translated song in the world, the one that the Sherman Brothers have ever written. And now, of course, there are a lot of other songs, a lot of other musicals they've done. Are you familiar now with Mary Poppins?
Of course.
Now that's the one they won the Academy Award for. They won the Academy Award for the best musical score of the movie, and the best song was Chim Chim Cheree. Okay, what do you say now? We take another look at this fascinating documentary film about the boys, the Sherman Brothers story.
When you're with a sweep, you're in glad company.
Mary Poppins has to be one of the most beloved movies ever made, and it would not have been half the picture it is without the music it has.
Let's get together, yeah, yeah, yeah. Why don't you and I combine? Let's get together, what do you say? We could have a swinging time.
You cannot forget a Sherman Brothers song for your entire life.
Ooby-doo, I want to be like you. Hop-de-ooby-doo, I want to walk like you. Talk like you. Choo-choo.
I remember the songs more than I remember the movie itself.
The wonderful thing about figures is figures are wonderful things. The tops are made of the rubber, the bottoms are made of the strings. The bouncy, flouncy, flouncy, pouncy, fun, 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 fun. But the most wonderful thing about figures is I'm the only one.
So many memorable tunes and songs and moments that touch your heart.
I'm just a little black rain cloud hovering under the honey tree.
Well, wasn't that something?
It was great. It was great.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, those are some of the songs that they wrote. And, of course, this documentary movie, released as a feature theatrical film, pays tribute to the Sherman Brothers. Now, it's an interesting thing that their personal story has some estrangement between it. It's sort of like Gilbert and Sullivan. Do you remember that story?
Oh, I remember that very well. They didn't talk to each other. I don't. One of them wrote the lyrics. One of them wrote the melodies. And the one who wrote the melodies, the melody, I don't know who it was, sent it to the one who wrote the lyrics. And he wrote the lyrics, and then went into production.
Well, this is a little similar to that, although the Sherman Brothers did get together. They had some personal estrangement, and one lives in California, the other lives in London, but they come together sometimes. They collaborate through technology, through email, fax machines, telephones, and sometimes go together in London and New York. They collaborate together, but there is a certain parallel life experience between Gilbert and Sullivan and the Sherman Brothers. Now, some of the critics who reviewed this said that this was a very loving, touching movie, that kind of a stunning film. It brings out the personal differences, but it also shows their success as a songwriting, collaborating team. Now, Walt Disney thought that wanted the Sherman Brothers to write a song for them, the one that we sang. Now, what was that for? That was for the New York World's Fair, was it not?
Yes.
And now it's the theme of Walt Disney's Disney World here in Florida.
Yes.
Okay, now some other highlights to this. There are other people who are involved, composers like John Williams and Sheldon Harnick, the lyricist who wrote Fiddler on the Roof, remember?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he was commenting about his trip through the boat listening to Small World. He had an interesting thing to say about it that was very, very, very touching.
What did he say?
Well, he said it was very touching going through the boat, hearing
Oh,
the
yes,
song.
I just heard him.
Yeah, well, he's a Broadway lyricist. He's a well-known, world-renowned composer, as are the Sherman Brothers. Now, the Sherman Brothers have put their movies on the stage in collaboration with a producer, and have gone on the London stage and the New York stage with Mary Poppins and with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Now, all these shows are now live and are stage musicals.
That's great.
Yeah, and that's true with a lot of with some other great movies like State Fair and some of the others. Well, now let's get your opinion. This is a documentary. It's about the life story of the songwriting team, primarily known for their work with Walt Disney. On a scale of from 1 to 4 curtain calls, how would you rate The Boys, the Sherman Brothers story?
I'm going to give it 4 big ones.
Wow. Now, what is your thought for that?
Because I love the music, and I love the stories, and the whole thing is so beautiful.
It's very charming and very lovable. And
yes, it is.
And it's something we all grew up with, isn't it? Very good. Okay, we've been looking at The Boys, the Sherman Brothers stories, and it starred Dick Van Dyke, Julie Andrews. Executive producer was Ben Stiller. It was directed by Jeff and Gregory Sherman. Distributed by Walt Disney Movies. When we come back, we're going to be having some very exciting musical guests, the exciting vocal stylings of Mad Romance, and I know you'll enjoy them. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Entertainment Spotlight, and in keeping with our musical theme of today's program, we have with us that exciting group, the vocal stylings of the group Mad Romance, and we're really thrilled to have them with us because they have an exciting sound. I'd like to say hello first to the leader, the founder of the organization, Mr. Rick Harris. Welcome to our show, Rick. And along with Rick, we have other exciting vocalists. My wife, Corinne, is standing next to me. She's going to be talking to the girls. I'm going to be talking to the guys. Okay, so let me ask you, Rick, first of all, how did you get the idea for this organization? When did it start? Tell us a little bit about this exciting group.
Well, I got the original idea. I think it was my 21st birthday. Some friends took me to see the Manhattan Transfer.
Really?
I didn't know anything about them. And they didn't tell me anything about it. And I said, what kind of group is this? And he says, this is the kind of group you wish that you were in. And when they came out singing, I said, oh my God, oh, that looks like so much fun. And I bought their record at the time and transcribed a few of their arrangements. And that kind of was the seed that got planted right then. And it was a few years later where I found some singers in the Washington, D.C. area. And we did that, and we were together in the 80s, and that group broke up, and I missed it so much that I wanted to do it again, and I found this wonderful bunch.
So you found these singers, got them all together, and put together this wonderful sound that you have with your group, Mad Romance. Now, I'm going to turn the next interview question over to my lovely wife, Corinne, who'll be talking to Wendy. All right.
From Peter Pan. When did you join the group?
I joined the group about 2.5 years ago. And when they came in and asked me if I would join, I was like, I hadn't sung with a jazz vocal group in, since college, and I was very excited because I missed singing with, other people.
Rubbing up against us.
Yeah, rubbing up
Well,
against
you're
you guys.
very good. You all are very good. Now, I'm very happy to talk to you. I see you're married.
I am married, and I have 2 children.
Oh, how old are your children?
I have 2 boys. One is 10, and one is 11. He's 11, and one is 8. So, yeah, I'm busy, with that.
I know you are. Okay, I'm going to pass to Greg. Here.
Oh, okay. You want me to talk to Greg?
Yeah.
All right. That's probably the safest thing to do, right?
Yeah, he bites.
No.
All right. Well, we want to say that was Wendy Peterson, and now this is Greg Diaz, right? Now, let me ask you, Greg, how did you first become associated with this organization?
Well, this was back in 2002. I was teaching over at Miami-Dade College, and there was a wake for a professor. Actually, he taught English, but he was also, I didn't know, he was also a part-time musician, and they were displaying pictures of him actually playing with Louis Armstrong back in the day. And they were having a wake for him on campus. So I went inside and I saw a rather large group of musicians who I haven't seen in a long time. And one of the musicians was my colleague here, Rick Harris. He was playing the piano. And I went up, I sat in, and I think I might have sang Bye Bye Blackbird.
I think you scat sang too.
And I scat sang.
No,
so Rick comes up to me and he says, I really like the way you sing. I have a burning jazz vocal group. I mean, we do 4 parts. I write all the arrangements, and I guess he was kind of testing me to see. Well, let's see. Maybe he'll work. Maybe he won't. Let's see. Well, so we don't talk for a while, but we do keep in contact, and he had a steady job over at a club in Hollandale called Nando's, and he invited me up a couple times just to check out the group, and then he called me. Now this was over a year later. He called me and asked me if I might be interested in doing maybe being a member. So he sends me a bunch of charts and recordings, and when I heard the recordings, I was completely blown away, and that's my story.
Well, that's a great story,
and I'm sticking to
Greg.
it.
That's wonderful.
Now, tell me about you.
Oh my God! Well,
Suzanne.
I was born a small child. No, me. Gosh, I've been
You're
singing.
the soprano.
Yeah, well, sometimes she sings soprano too as well. We just switch it up just to keep you guessing. I've been in vocal groups since college. Well, actually, Wendy and I went to school together at University of Miami.
Oh, how
and
nice.
yes,
We say Richard went to university.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great. Obviously, a very great school. And anyway, so that kind of got my juices going for singing with vocal groups. But then I left and lived in the Virginia area for a while and taught there and got involved with a group out there. And we knew of Rick's old Mad Romance group that had broken up, but they were not together at that time when I was singing. And then I moved back to Florida and met Rick on a gig. And he said he was getting the group, he was getting the band back together. He was waiting for that 4th singer. And I said I'd be interested. And so he, had me over at the house and got CDs and music, and then put me through the acid test and said, yeah, it'd be great. So anyway, I always love singing with groups, and it's a challenge and a treat to sing harmony. And so I'm back
One
with the group.
question. Are you a professional group? Do you get paid?
Of course.
Oh,
well,
yes,
we
sure.
like
I
to.
just wanted to
They like to when they can.
Sometimes we hold out a cup.
We'll walk around with a little.
No job required.
We work on our own too. We all sing with different groups and
I
different
see. Well, that's very
collaborations.
interesting.
Well, we want to thank you for talking to us.
Yeah, we really enjoyed
about your experience and of getting together, and it's an exciting sound, a wonderful, wonderful music that you produce. So right now, we're going to close the show as far as the interview goes. We want to
Yes.
thank you for talking to us.
Thank you so much.
It's Rick Harris, Wendy Peterson, Greg Lyons, and Lisette Lyons and Greg Diaz, excuse me. And we're going to be leaving you from Entertainment Spotlight. We'll see you next time, but we're going to be leaving
We want you to play.
with the exciting music as we leave of Mad Romance. And here they are. Enjoy. There you are, folks. Mad Romance.
Thank you.
Folks
Folks are blessed to make the best of every day, living by their own philosophy. Everyone beneath the sun must find a way, and I have found the only one for me. I don't believe in fretting and grieving. Why mess around with strife? I never was cut out to step and strut out. Give me the simple life. Some find it pleasant, dining on pheasant. Those things roll off my knife. Just serve me tomatoes and mashed potatoes. Give me the simple life. A cottage small is all I'm after, not one that's spacious or wide.
A house that rings with joy and laughter, with the ones you love inside.
You take the high road, I like the low road, free from all care and strife. Sounds corny and seedy, but yes indeedy, give me the simple life. I don't believe in fretting and grieving. Why mess around with strife? I never was cut out to step out and strut out. Give me the simple life.
Baby,
I imagine that it might be pleasant, dining on pheasant and using the proper knife.
Actually,
I like tomatoes and mashed up potatoes. Give me the simple life. A sweet little cottage is all I'm really after. 2 rooms and kitchen, not one that's spacious and wide. House that rings with joy and laughter, with the ones you love inside. They all laugh. So you take the high road, I'll take the low road, free from all care and strife. Sounds corny and seedy, but yes indeedy, give me the simple life. Tell you that I greet the dawn when I awaken. The sky is high above.
I like my scrambled eggs with bacon, served by someone that I love.
So you take the high road, I'll take the low road, free from all care and strife. Sounds corny and seedy, shabba-dabba-dabba-ba, yes indeedy. Ooh, give me the simple life. Splink, splink, spank. When true lovers meet in Mayfair, so the legends tell.
Little
songbirds sing. Winter turns to spring. Every winding street in Mayfair falls beneath its spell. I know such enchantment can be, 'cause it happened one evening to me. That certain night, the night we met, there was magic abroad in the air. There were angels dining at the Ritz, and a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square. and I may be wrong, but I'm perfectly willing to swear that when you turned and smiled at me, a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square.
The moon that lingered over London town, poor puzzled moon, he wore a frown.
How could he know we two were so in love? The whole darn world seemed upside down. The streets of town were paved with stars. It was such a romantic affair that when we kissed and said goodbye, a nightingale sang in Berkeley Square, in Berkeley Our romance won't end on a sorrowful note, but by tomorrow you've gone. The song is ended, but as a songwriter wrote, the melody lingers on. Though they may take you from me, I'm gonna miss your fond caress. Though they may take you from me, I'll still possess, the way you wear your hair, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all that. No, they can't take that away from me. The way you smile, just be. The way you sing off key. The way you haunt my dreams. No, they can't take that.